Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Goaltending, where your why is bigger than your excuses. Today, we're going to talk about choice, the power of choice. We're going to talk about really more so the illusion of choice. And before we get into that, first, I just want to say thank you for tuning in, allowing me to be a part of your journey. I'm really excited to kind of share this debatable, arguable topic. And so with that, I just want to, say go like, subscribe, share the information. And on this one, I'd love to hear your comments. So comment with your thoughts and questions to join the conversation because I know that this is debatable, but I like thinking about it the way that I do. So this is going to be a little bit of kind of a reframing, thinking about how we approach things, what our mindset is. But I want to talk about really the illusion of choice. So we have choice over certain things. We have the choice over what goals we want to pursue, like what things we want to accomplish. So first off, the first thing that we have to do is decide if we're going to pursue things. Like some people are just fumbling through life with not being intentional, just taking life as it's thrown at them. So the first thing we got to do is let's overcome that. Let's stop being unintentional. Let's stop letting life just throw things at us, and let's decide what we want our lives to be. So we got to start right there. First off, what are the things that I want to prioritize that give value to my life, that provide fulfillment? What are the goals that I want to pursue over time, right? And so that starts with just thinking, long term, where I want to be, and from figuring out where I want to be at the end of life, I can backwards plan from that to set those goals and those priorities, figure all of that out. Once you have that, once you set the goals, those are what you have choice over. The idea that I'm presenting today is after that, you no longer have a choice. You don't have a choice over the things that you do or don't do. Because once you set a goal, there are certain habits, certain routines, certain things that you must do, that you have to do in order to reach that goal. So if I choose the goal, I no longer have choice of whether I do or don't do something that's necessary to reach that goal. So let's break it down. Let's do some examples, right? So let's say this is just a small one, small routine. I set the alarm to get up at X time, whatever time it is that I set the alarm to get up for. When I'm setting the alarm for that time, that should be intentional. First off, like sleep being a priority, I need to know, am I giving myself the amount of sleep that I need? So like that in itself, thinking about the sleep that I need, but I'm setting the alarm to get up at a certain time because there are things I need to do. The alarm is set to get up at that time because I either need to go to the gym, or I need to help the kids get ready for school, or I need to be getting ready myself for work or for whatever it is that I have that day, right? So I set the alarm with intentionality. What does that mean? It means that I no longer have a choice over whether or not I hit that snooze button. And that's tough. This is a challenge for me too. Okay. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I never hit the snooze button. It happens. But it should happen as infrequently as possible. Like we should be looking at, all right, why do I need to get up at this time? I set the alarm for that time. That means when it goes off, it's not a choice. I'm getting up because that is when I know I need to get up to do the things that I need to do. So it's all with intentionality, and that means there's no longer a choice of whether I'm hitting that snooze button or not. I'm not hitting the snooze. It's not a choice because my goals, whatever it is that I'm going after that day, require me to get up when that alarm goes off. That's just one example. Now let's go into, fitness. Let's say we have a fitness goal and we're feeling tired. Our muscles are sore. Maybe we didn't get as much sleep as we wanted to the night before. And so we're kind of dragging that day, not feeling 100%. And here's that thought that's going to pop in your mind. I could just take a day off. I should skip today, get some extra rest, or I'm just not feeling it. One day isn't going to hurt my results. That's not true. You have to be intentional with the plan, right? You should have active recovery days. You should have days off, but they should be planned days off. So if you're having one of those days where you're dragging, but you're supposed to be training that day, you no longer have a choice of whether or not you hit that workout. You got to get it because your results, your goal that you set, that you chose, requires it. So it's no longer a choice. We go get the goal. And that means we do the workout even when it's uncomfortable, even when we're tired, even if we're sore, because that's part of the plan and we stick to it. You chose the goal. You no longer have choice of whether you do or don't do what's required to get it. Now let's get into more of a business scenario. Okay? Let's say you are working on a project personally, working on a project at work, a business owner, whatever it is, something from a professional standpoint, but you have something that you need to get done. We don't get to choose the times that things need to be done. Sometimes there are more things that need to be done. Sometimes we're busier than others. And that might mean that we don't fully get to choose whether or not we need to work in the evening, that we need to work some longer hours, that we might need to work on vacation sometimes. I've seen plenty of people who are on vacation needing to do work still during the vacation because it doesn't stop. And they're doing what's necessary to get the job done. That's not to say like just work your whole vacations away. It's awesome and preferred to set work aside for periods of time, to have mental rest, to have recovery. I love to do everything that I can do to set myself up to not worry about work on vacation. So let's be clear on that. But that doesn't mean that there aren't times that it's necessary to get the result that I'm going after. So that means sometimes I'm recording a podcast at night after the kids go to bed when I would rather be getting ready for the next day, laying in bed, me watching a show with my wife, relaxing, decompressing for the day. But the results that I want, the goals that I set, they require me to get that done. And so I get it done because I set the goal of I am going to be consistent with my podcast, or I am going to write this book, or I am going to be a high performer at work, whatever it is, like whatever the goal is, you chose that. You don't have the choice of whether you do what is necessary to get it. Plain as that. I don't need to elaborate anymore on it because you get the point. You choose the goal. You no longer have choice of whether or not you do the things necessary to get it. Right? So if you can shift your mind to realize that and to recognize, like in my last episode, I was talking about, I thought about not recording the podcast episode. I thought about taking a day off. That was the time that I had. And what I did is I modified the plan based on the situation, but I still did what needed to be done to reach the result, right? That is what we have to do. Sometimes we do have to adjust, but it doesn't mean that we can just not do what is necessary to reach the goal, to get the results, to be where we want to be, because we chose that. So I just want to say, you are doing incredible in your journey. If you're listening to this, that means you're taking the time to invest in your growth because you know it's something that can help you either shift your mind or refresh your mind and think about, like, I know what goal I set. I know that I want to be intentional, and that means I no longer have a choice of whether or not I choose the easy path or the hard path. Because you have goals you want to get, the hard path is what we're taking. All right? And that's a great thing. Lean into it, enjoy it, embrace the hard things, because they are what help us grow. They are what help us get there to reach that goal. So thank you all for tuning in, allowing me to be a part of your journey. Remember, you don't have a choice anymore. You set the goal, you know what you want. Now you do the things, regardless of what's going on, necessary to get those results. Make sure you all go like, subscribe, comment with your thoughts and questions. I want to hear what you all think. Do you have a choice? Once you set the goal, once you choose that, do you have a choice over the other things? Or do you do what must be done to get that goal that you chose? So drop those comments and let's grow.